This is Barbara Clouser once again with Myths, Miracles, and Wonders. Now please don't touch this dial. Stay with me for a while as I have another true story to tell. Now today's story is a very special one. It's called Near Death, and it was my personal experience. Let's begin. My morning started out with nothing unusual, except for the old fact that my mind was preoccupied. I had allowed some old hateful thoughts from my past to creep into my mind, and I was busy mulling over, trying to process and categorize them. The energy was heavy and intruding. The depression shrouded me like an old wet army blanket. It weighed my thoughts and emotions down to the pits of despair. I had taken a much-needed day off from my clinic. I had pushed myself much farther than I should have, and I had gone without the rest that I truly needed. My husband and I were driving to our houseboat, which was moored in a beautiful place called Tiki Lagoon. Soon we were to meet a friend named Charlie that would be joining us there. The boat was large, so a second working mate was great to have on board to share weighing the anchor, navigating, and the like. Now upon our arrival, as we were walking on the rocking pier, I noticed that the morning air was clean and had a nip to it. It was very cold, but yet invigorating. The sky was cloudless and the view was crystal clear. I wrapped my coat around me and scurried on board. The two men were busy firing up the engine, pulling up the lines, and all the various tasks that have to be done to get underway. I never would have dreamed of the events that would take place by the end of this day. So I was just going through the motions of making coffee as the men were talking. I was smiling and nodding at the appropriate times, not really paying attention or caring about anything that was going on around me. I was truly into myself and lost in my own thoughts. I left the galley and walked to the bow. I sat down to enjoy my hot, steaming cup of coffee. I took a deep breath of the aroma of the river as the boat glided through the crystal clear water. It was so placid that it reflected the images of all the other boats and the trees and sky. And as I gazed at the beauty of the delta before me, I began to relax. The hours flew by as we fished, ate, and sunbathed, and my problems of the morning seemed to have vanished like a puff of smoke. I felt rejuvenated. My being was filled with sun, fresh air, river, sky, and the simplistic art of my communication with God and nature. I felt renewed and restored, and I felt a little sad that the day was coming to an end so quickly. It was still daylight, but the sun was starting to go down. The water and the shores glowed in gold and orange and red from the sun. We slowly approached our dock, moored our boat, and the men began to tire off. They buttoned down the hatches, so to speak. My husband and Charlie got off the boat and walked toward the engine as they chatted casually about the day's events. Now, all my chores were done, so I stepped off the boat and to the dock. I was feeling dreamy and relaxed from all the fresh air, and I could hear the men talking in the background. I leaned back onto the side of the boat as if it was a solid wall for total support. I was leaning there daydreaming, and then it happened. I could feel my body falling backwards as the boat moved away from the dock. My eyes widened in surprise as I began to desperately try to catch my balance. My arms were flaying about, and my hands were grasping at thin air, but no avail. I fell backwards into the dark, murky river water. I gasped from the shock of the coldness as my body hit the water. My heavy leather jacket and large purse felt like an anchor, and they began to pull me down, down, down. I struggled in the water. I felt a burning sensation that began filling my nostrils and lungs, and I began to panic. I could feel my body floating and spinning as I tried frantically to find something to hold on to. But there was nothing there, no lifeline, nothing. Then suddenly, in the darkness, about 20 feet in front of me, a tunnel appeared. It was filled with a golden light, and I felt a peace so sweet and so calm beyond all understanding beginning to pour through me. Why, I ceased all fighting and struggling, and the fact that my nose and lungs were filled with water didn't seem to matter any longer. Why, the coldness vanished, and I felt as though I was floating in a warm bath. The feeling was so tender and nurturing that I felt completely safe and secure. Breathing was no longer a struggle, even though I was completely submerged under the water. Why, nothing mattered anymore. Not my husband, my daughters, my grandchildren, or friends. The only thing that mattered was this feeling of safety and peace and love. Why, this feeling was so overpowering that I never wanted to go back. I wanted to forget about being saved. The light in the tunnel was brilliant, luminous, white and gold. It had pale yellow whirling through it. It was extremely bright with illumination. On the outer and inner walls were many angels. Why, their wings were actually moving back and forth as they hovered in the tunnel. Their arms were outstretched towards me. Their presence engulfed me with love. I think what impressed me more was that I felt free of all mental torment, all anguish. All the sorrow and the worries and the pain of life had left me, and I was filled with pure, unadulterated bliss. And all of my struggles had ceased as I was guided through the tunnel by a loving and protecting presence to a completely different dimension. As I entered, I saw before me steep golden stairs, and I began to float up these stairs. But I was stopped on the 7th step, and I was told tenderly that I could not pass. They told me that the next step up was my fears that I had not yet conquered. I was told I had to go back to conquer my fears to help others to learn how to conquer theirs. I was told living in fear showed lack of faith, and until I could learn to trust, I could not enter. Oh, I protested, I begged them not to send me back, but in my heart, I knew the argument was over. All of a sudden, I felt a sharp pain cut through the top of my head. The water turned icy cold once again, and my nose and my lungs were filled with water, and I was gasping for air. My lungs were screaming for oxygen. My body was pulled violently out of the river by the hair on the top of my head. Why, I came up like I was shot out of a cannon. Charlie, our friend, a man over 6 feet tall, had heard the splash where I had fallen in the river. He had laid down on the dock, put his long arm down into the water, and miraculously managed to grab me by my hair and pulled me out. After they resuscitated me, I awoke kicking and fighting and screamed to please let me go back to that pure bliss. Charlie and my husband were confused by my reaction. He had just saved my life, but all I could do was keep yelling, "I want to go back, let me go back." My husband was puzzled once again by my bizarre behavior. Once again I later asked Charlie how he found me in the dark, murky water, and he told me he had seen a golden light reflecting off the face of the water near the dock where I had fallen in. He said something had compelled him to reach down in that spot for me. Well, as the days and months rolled by, I continued to remember the peace and joy I felt while I was there under the water. The total pure love and absolute acceptance I had experienced was beyond compare with anything I've ever known on this earth. I did not want, or in my opinion, even need this harsh, cold, cruel world where I was existing. It took me months for the depression to lift, but somehow God in His mercy gave me the strength to continue with my practice. God in His infinite wisdom showed me that my life work was needed. It was needed to continue to try to reach people who were suffering from stress and tension and overwhelm. I needed to try to help people that were in bondage by fear and help those that suffer from substance abuse and other self-destructive habits. And if I had drowned that day, I would not have had the privilege of sharing the story with you right now. And that, my dearest friends, would have been, in my mind, the true tragedy. This is Barbara Klauser. I wrote some poems just for you. The first one's entitled Your Angel. When you've been in the trenches all day long, feel all poured out and all seems wrong, when your bones feel weak and your heart has lost its light, and you feel all alone and have tried with all your might, out of the mist floats an angel so sweet, with tiny pink roses on her small feet. Watch her wings flowing so large and so white, feathers ruffling into the night. Watch as she hovers to keep you from harm, with rays of light to keep you warm. And oh, her sweet smile and strength she does give, and she'll be with you always as long as you live. Angel wisdom. When you're climbing a mountain, never look down. Keep your eyes fixed and make not a sound. Keep your step steady, move with purpose and grace. Before you know it, you have reached your dwelling place. Prayers. As we kneel down to pray and think of God throughout the day, His daily presence at our side, healing, caring when we cried. For His protection surely you'll see, our Heavenly Father will always walk with thee. Now I want to close this segment with angel thoughts. Let's begin. Whoever said they don't believe in miracles has never looked into the face of a newborn sleeping child. Success is achieved one thought at a time. Angels are only one prayer away. The Lord broke the mold when He created you. You're unique in every way. Just ask your mother. Laughter is music for your soul, and joy is nourishment for your heart. When you think you can't go on, and your heart feels broken, and all goes wrong, When things seem to hit you from out of the blue, remember God promises will see you through. So dry your tears and place your fears far, far away. And don't give in, just sport a grin, for help is on the way. This, my dearest friends, is Barbara Clouser. You can reach me at 209-825-7046. And remember, I love you, and I will always love you. Take care, and bye for now.